This is Series 2, Gilles Deleuze, The Logic of Sense. Series 2, Gilles Deleuze is all about figuring some things out. I'll show you my notebook here. I like to keep notebooks, And he's got this understanding of the way in which Alice in Wonderland is able to go into this Stoic philosophy and go beyond it. It's a process of bringing about the development of the bodies, the relation of bodies to a state of affairs, and the relation of being and non-being, the phantasm. I'm going to tell you the story here of this Alice in Wonderland character that Lewis Carroll creates. But I wanted to say that there's some secret of the events and eventing that is going on here. And these secrets have to do with the plunge into the depths of the earth, the ground, a sliding. Alice is sliding underground, and she's once again in Series 2 changing her size, getting bigger and smaller. That's what the logic of sense in Alice in Wonderland is all about. So the path of tears is interesting because the body is opening up like a telescope and starts to get very, very tall. And with that, Alice begins to cry. And she is 9 feet tall, and the tears are mounting up, and they're 4 inches deep, and she's crying, and the rabbit returns. And the rabbit has the gloves, some very small gloves and a very small fan. Now here's where Enactment comes in. Not just enacting, but Alice starts to think. She says, "Let me think!" exclamation mark. Let's try multiplication. Does that work? I'm multiplied to a bigger size, sometimes a smaller size. What about geography? Maybe it has to do with geography. So she's checking out these different kinds of thinking, and she's noticing things. Am I Mabel? Am I a different person than Alice? Am I Mabel? Who am I then? And she's got these little gloves that the little rabbit has left her. And, well, we'll go over here. We'll be in my notes and part on the logic of sense here. The logic of sense. So there's 2 feet of tears now. She's got a fan, and she says, okay, what if I put on one of these gloves? And does she shrink? Well, she does. She shrinks, and she's concerned that she's going to shrink so small she can't get through a little door that's there. And there's a key, a small golden key for the little door. But maybe that's not the pathway out. And between the glove and the fan, she can grow bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and sort of figure out what she's going to do. And there's my notes, and here's Dancing Alice. And there's a splashing. She hears a splashing, and there's a little mouse, and she's able to shrink again to the size of this little mouse. And she starts to talk about cats. Oh, you're probably afraid of cats. Well, of course I'm afraid of cats. Why do you bring up the fact that I don't like cats? Would you like cats if you were me? And the little mouse and Alice are swimming in the pool of tears, and the little mouse says, why don't we swim to the shore? Now here again we have this notion of Alice and now the little mouse and the little rabbit, and these are both in quantum storytelling a set of helping spirits. QuantumShamanism.com, QShamanism.com, we talk about this. We talk about thinking in Enactment.com, And we talk about the tentativeness, the fact that Alice is thinking how she can get out of yet another problem. And another problem emerges, and how can she get out of that problem? Because the game rules have changed in Wonderland. They're not the same game rules as in the Matrix. I consider us all in the Matrix. So when we enter into the mythic land of the enchantment of Wonderland, the rules of the game are different, and they keep changing from one scene to the next scene, mise-en-scene. And she experiences the sensual splashing of the mouse. Okay, she makes sense of that, but she has to think about it. What is the way out? Is it by multiplication, by geography, by keeping on with the little glove and the fan and changing the size? Or is it getting to a size where she can listen to the advice of the little mouse, who's a helping spirit animal, and the rabbit is a helping spirit animal. And they're there to give her a message, or she can follow their lead and have a conversation. The mouse has conversations. The little white rabbit, not so much. Not so much. But this is an interesting idea about Alice. And we're looking at a Disneyfied version of Alice. And in the Disney version of Alice in Wonderland, you're not getting any of these insights. I'm sorry, you're not. But what you do get when you look at the original writing of Lewis Carroll, and you look at the writing of The Logic of Sense of Gilles Deleuze, you can start to understand what it means to go in depth into your own consciousness, what it means to be creative about problem solving, what it means to be in touch with helping spirits that are in this other world of the Wonderland. So this is series 2 in Gilles Deleuze, and I'm relating it to chapter 2 in Lewis and Carroll. Now, sometimes Gilles Deleuze will have a number of series 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and you might jump around the actual Lewis and Carroll book, Lewis Carroll. And I think it's very exciting to explore Deleuze from the viewpoint, not of Disneyland, not of Disneyfication. Let's not go there, okay? That's just stupid. Let's do some intelligent enthink. Let's do some tentativeness of the courage, the old-fashioned courage of trial and error that Alice has. She's a courageous young girl. She's trying to think it out. What are the rules of the new game rules in the environment that I'm in? I'm in a new situation. And that's the way that Deleuze is looking at this, is she's able to bridge the dualities. A lot of people talk about paradox. Oh, I'm in a paradox, I don't know what to do. Deleuze is just blasting away paradoxes and blasting away dualities and able to find the right size, the right depth, moving up and down and in and out and getting help from what I call spirit guides and quantum shamanism, qshamanism.com, and able to work. And isn't that the work of a shaman, to be there for the community and help the community solve problems? It's not about meditating and enjoying the meditative process. It's not about that. It's not mindfulness. We're talking about a reality of being, a reality of becoming, and getting in touch with the flow of the space you are in its time, in its space. And that's the sense we get of series 2 of Gilles Deleuze and the magical, mythical Alice in Wonderland by Lewis Carroll, as this Scottish Stoic person in 1865 is trying to work his way out of the Stoic Scottish philosophy and get something a lot more creative. So go to quantum storytelling, go to quantumshamanism.com, Be the quantum in Alice in Wonderland.